Hello, everyone. Someone. Hello, Greg. You're the only one I see right now. But I thought I'd talk a little bit about self forgiveness, I guess. It's been on my mind. It's been on my mind for years. Seems like I know it's something that we all go through. No, I know it's something that it's common for us to go through. You live your life on automatic so long. I was talking about it a little bit this morning. You man, you just live some way so long, and kind of like waking up out of a dream. It's like, damn, dude. I uh, I know. I know, I always go back to the beginning, about using and blah, 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 and what happened in jail and coming down and feelings. I know what I've learned about myself is, you know, recovery, at least the NA talks about the disease of addiction, and at the very core of the disease of addiction is total self-centeredness, and I know today, along with that obsession, compulsion, blah, 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 and that really don't have anything to do with dope. That's just something else that I got into early on that really fucked things up. But guess what? I'm getting back at the self-centeredness. See, I really didn't know I was self-centered. I really didn't understand that, everybody wasn't like me. And I'm not saying I got short and sticky or anything like that. I'm just saying, I run on automatic. And it's like, Greg wants this, Greg wants that. Greg ought to be able to do that. He's free white 21. At least it's almost 21. And, when I put that drug in me, like I said before, it changed me. I started chasing that shit like it was the air I breathed. And so now you got this self-centered soul and a dope and alcohol saturated mind. So basically, man, I just run over everybody. And when I got clean, I didn't feel like that. I'm not saying I couldn't feel it all, but it wasn't nothing like what I could feel when I got clean. After being high for so damn long. And anyway, if you can imagine, I know some of you know what I'm talking about. When you wake up after 20, 10, 15, 20, 25 years of addiction, and you come down maybe for the first time, and then feelings hit. And what sucks is when them feelings hit, when you get clean, you don't get amnesia too. I always thought, man, this wouldn't be so bad if I just had fucking amnesia. But now I got all these memories. And again, I'm not, you guys don't feel, I think I freaked my son out the other day on that last post. He texted me, he says, Dad, quit beating up on yourself, dude. You're chasing ghosts or something like that. And I kind of laughed. I just told him, but, I don't beat up on myself anymore. I'm just sharing. I'm just talking about what it's like. Maybe somebody can identify me. I hope you can't, but maybe you can. I do this out of joy today. And when I relive this stuff, it really hurts sometimes, and sometimes it don't, but it's just what NA's taught me to do to stay clean and have a healthier mind today. Anyway, I neglected my kids, I neglected my wife, I neglected my home, I neglected my job, I neglected everything chasing dope. And I just, like I say, there's really no instruction books for living, I don't think. Maybe there's some people say it's the Bible, but I didn't have that one. And if I'd have had it, I probably wouldn't have listened to it, to tell you the truth. But anyway, I get clean, and I come back out, and I see everything. It's like almost for the first time, and I see the pain and the destruction I caused. And I see how screwed up my life is and how screwed up my family's life is. And I didn't know how to take it. And I didn't know when you got clean that you were supposed to stay in today, not yesterday. I stayed in yesterday. And yesterday sucked. It sucked bad. And I stayed yesterday for a long ass time. You know, and between the depression and the anhedonia, I know a lot of you know what depression is. I didn't. You know, I just assumed I had depression until I went to the doctor, you know, the psychologist, the head shrink, and she gave me this little book and had me just take this depression test. And when I took it and added my score, I'm like 2 points below blow your damn brains out. You know, I thought, oh, fuck, man. So I went back and tallied up my score again, softened up my answers, and I'm in the bottom of that category. So I kind of understood, yeah, you got depression, dude. I got to reading and studying depression, and there's all different kinds of depressions, you know, and there's clinical depression, you know, man, you can think yourself into depression. Now, I had all kinds of it, you know. I'm like, I couldn't get out yesterday, and if my mind weren't screwed up bad enough and my chemical receptors weren't fucked up bad enough, I was thinking myself to death, you know, feeling sorry for myself and everything I'd done, and, you know, putting everything on my shoulders, man, everything. You know, I wanted to take responsibility for everybody and everything. And Lord knows I had my hand in a lot of that shit, you know. But I heard a guy say in a lead once, it was an AA lead, and he said, I have the unique ability to think I'm the best in the world, the best at everything, and the worst at everything at the exact same time. It Lord, man, when he said that, it just like floored me. It's like, dude, that's me. That's me, you know. And it sucks being me sometimes, but sometimes it's pretty cool being me. But anyway, when I got out, all I could concentrate on was the things I'd done, the trouble I'd caused, and how screwed up everything in life was, you know, how screwed up I'd made everything, man. And I was killing myself doing that. I didn't know it. You know, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to do that. At least that's what the professionals tell me. You know, I thought I deserved, the dope didn't kill me. I almost thought I deserved to just fucking beat myself to death, you know. Not let none of it go. And when it got so fucking rough and I really started a beating on myself, I remember Brad, you know, in NA, you know, every time I'd share, he said, Greg, put the whipping stick up, you know. I thought, damn it, I need to, but I don't know how. You know, I didn't know how to put the whipping stick up. I didn't know how to let it go. You know, I didn't know how to move on. I was stuck, you know, and I didn't know I wasn't supposed to be stuck. You know, like I say, for years I thought, you deserve this, dude. You deserve every fucking thing you're getting. You deserve everything way you're feeling. You deserve it all. And maybe I did, but at some point you gotta say enough is enough, I guess. Or if I can blow your damn brains out. You know, and I sure didn't want to do that. I might have said in the other things, you know, that I really didn't want to die, but I was too big a chicken shit to kill myself. But I didn't want to be awake either. You know, I didn't want to be awake. I just wanted to fucking go sleep it away, you know, and go to bed, Greg. But I'm jumping around all over the damn place. I know that, you know. You got so much to say and so many years behind you and try to talk, you know, you're going to jump around, I guess. I know I do. But anyway, you know, I know I didn't know, you know, and when I first got involved in recovery, I'm going to keep saying this, man, NA saved my ass. You know, when I first got in recovery, they said, get a sponsor, work them 12 steps, and learn how to live again. And I didn't do that. I didn't want to do that. I never did it. You know, not the first time. It took me for a while, the second time. But, you know, they was talking about living in the day. Stay in the day, Greg. And I'm like, what in the holy hell would I want to stay in the day for? The day's killing me. You know, that's the last damn place I want to be, in the day. Now, I'd kind of like to go back before I got on the shit. You know, that wasn't too bad back then. You know. And I didn't see no hole at the end of the tunnel up in front of me. You know, I'd been wallowing in my own shit for like 3 years, man. And, dang. There's a story in the back of the basic text. I think a young lady wrote it, and she said she believed that the year she spent in abstinence after the dope, before she got in recovery, did way more damage than all the years of using. And that was another one that hit me, man. I thought, fuck, man. I've been doing this for 2.5 years. I'm killing myself. And, you know, I went to the doctor. And I didn't like that dude. I didn't like him at all. I didn't like none of them, to tell you the truth. But I was at a point in my life. I went to the doctor, went to the preacher. I went to a dietitian. I went to, I said, something's got to happen here. I got to move on. And my doctors, he told me, I just blind out honest with him. What's going on, what I was looking for, blah blah blah. And he said, Greg, I don't know how to treat you, dude. He said, I can prescribe you this and I can prescribe you that, but I don't even know if it'll work on you like it does a normal person. I said, I don't know either. I said, let's try something though. We got on antidepressants and stuff, and I took 2 or 3 or 4 rounds of them, 3 of different ones. I don't know if it works, but that allowed me to kind of be okay. It didn't fix nothing, but it allowed me to not be sitting and wallowing in gloom and doom and shit so long, And I don't know, man. Back to this forgiveness thing. I had so much. It was self-hatred's what it was. It was anger toward myself is what it was. I used to. I don't know if it. I used to think it was. Trying to forgive myself. It was just fucking pissed at myself. I missed so much. If I went back to like it was before I got on the shit and just drinking, I'd have still been missing shit today. Because I got disease of more. If I'd went back to drinking, I'd have just drank harder. If I'd have went back to smoking pot, I'd have just fucking smoked harder. So I'm so grateful I was so sick that I didn't do that. What a waste it would have been the rest of my life sitting around getting high and fucking drinking. Trying to hide from the damage I done. Maybe try to mask it. Try to not to feel it. Try not to think about nothing but drinking and getting high. When I got clean, I couldn't do nothing. I didn't enjoy doing nothing. And I knew I'd fuck myself up. I really didn't understand what was going on in my brain. And in my heart and my soul and all that stuff. I just knew I weren't right. There was many times I walked in that big bathroom mirror and put my nose right up against that mirror and look right in my pupils. Man, they just blacker than hell, and just cry and say, "Are you in there, dude? Are you in there? What have you done with yourself? Come out wherever you are." Big fucking horse turd tears rolling down my face. Man, I'm fucking depressed. I had anhedonia. Look that up in the dictionary, encyclopedia, and I didn't know what to do. It's like you have fucked yourself up, and you're never gonna get over this. How the fuck can you forgive? I couldn't forgive myself for what I did to myself. Much less what I did to other people. Back to NA. NA literature said most of all we hurt ourselves, and for the longest time I couldn't figure it out because I kept thinking, what I'd done to my family, and what I'd done to this and what I'd done to that, hell, they come out of, for my shit. I believe I did hurt myself the worst, I mean, I was a negative influence in their life. Ain't no doubt about it, When my son told me the other day, he said I was the greatest pop in the world, And I thought, how the hell, But I guess there was good times, And I know I was in their life. I wasn't in their life mentally and emotionally very well, And so I don't have, like I told before, I don't have a memory connected to that. I got a memory connected to everything drug and alcohol induced, So maybe I was a decent dad. But that ain't what I seen when I got clean. That ain't what I seen at all when I got clean, And that's what I focused on, what I seen, and what I felt. I walked down this hall here, and every now and then a picture would pop out. Kathy showed me a picture of me and the kids, and I just break down, people. Break down. So what have I missed, I remember walking across from the garage one day, I think I was off house. I know, well, maybe we weren't off house this time. I've been sneaking around out there. But DJ Scott was standing out here in the front yard talking to somebody, and I got about halfway across, and I look at it, and this wave of emotion hit me like a fucking train, man. It's like, dude, you don't even know your kids. Damn, man, you don't know what color that's their favorite color. You don't know what they like to eat. You don't know what their favorite drink is. You don't know nothing. You don't know nothing, man. It's hello, Megan. I got a lot to say to you too, honey. I can remember, first time I seen you, and you were so young and like innocent, and I thought, man, this ain't good. This ain't good, but this is the way I felt about it. I was around a lot of younger people about my kids' age, I think they liked me. like the dope or something. I don't know. But they was around me, man, and I just kept doing what I was doing, and I was haunted for that for a long, long time. If I still can suck myself into it. But I remember I went to Ivy Tech, I guess. I thought when I got clean there a couple of years after, I thought I'd be a drug counselor. So, I went there and did all the things, signed up, blah 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 blah. You know what I got out of that thing? I went to the library. I loved the library at that point. I would read, and I got a book for addiction counselors, and it said, they really burn themselves out easy if they don't realize they're just one link in somebody else's chain, one little link, and I've been a fucking rusty link in a lot of people's chains, I really have, and that goes right back to this self-forgiveness thing, fucking rusty ass, dirty ass chain, in a lot of good people's lives, and I'm trying to change that around, I'm hoping I can be a different chain link somewhere on down the line. I'm hoping I can be a chain link to recovery, that'd make me feel better. But anyway, when I got on that internet site, I talk about it a lot too, because it was real good for me at that point in time, It allowed me to do what I'm doing now, only nobody could see my face, It allowed me to write. Nobody knew who I was, Nobody. I love you too, brother. I really do, man. I'm so grateful God put you in my life. I am, Patrick. I got on that internet site, and I could hide and I could do this. You've heard me talk about hiding before, man. You get the shit in the closet, what, at least what I seen in my closet, I wanted to hide with that shit, And I got on there, and I started learning about all kinds of shit, man. Like what the dope did to me. First time I was actually around people that was actually experiencing the same shit was me telling the same story I was telling. And that made me feel welcome. It didn't make me feel better, not at that point in time, but it made me feel welcome. So I just kept going. I kept talking. I kept talking. I kept talking. And, finally I talked out, and wrote out rather, not talked out. I ended up in that psychiatrist's office, I fucking burnt myself out so bad, and that's when she said, go back to NA, blah, 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 work the steps, blah, 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 blah. And, I didn't get it then either. I didn't get recovery. And I know I talk about the steps and NA and AA and other spiritual programs. I mean, I guess there's tons of shit out there for a person to get into, Love you, Chad. I guess there's all kinds of programs, man. As a matter of fact, somebody told me once that most addicts never step foot in any kind of recovery program. They just get clean. And I wonder, are they still haunted? Do they just get clean off of the hard shit? Are they still haunted by their past? I don't know. I know, God damn, man. I'd hate to think that I got clean and 15 years later, I'm still thinking about that shit day in and day night, I probably would have broke my brains out, I'm not I'm so self-centered, I'm not this person that, people will say, God forgives you. God forgives you, Greg, let it go. I'm like, I don't give a shit. In the first place, I didn't know God then. I was suspicious of God, but, it didn't make no difference. I didn't care if God forgive me. I was worried about Greg forgiving himself, I'd hear things like, you hear people talking about, I'm bitching because I broke my foot, and somebody say, I just seen a guy down the road with no legs, hoping that'd make him feel. But I thought, fuck, I'm sorry about his fucking luck, but, wish he had some legs, but hey, I'm fucking hurting over here too. Let's think about Greg, and that's just the fucking truth, I don't know, man. I know, I've been wanting to do this self-forgiveness thing. I wanted to do it yesterday, but something went right, man. I prayed about it, and I talked about it, and I kept making excuses not to do it, and I got up this morning and I thought I'd go over to the family meeting over in Nashville. Man, it's a great meeting. It is a healthy meeting with spiritual people in it, and I heard some things over there that I needed to hear this morning. It allowed me to go ahead and do this, Self-forgiveness, it's not a choice. I mean, for me, it wasn't a choice. I didn't say just wake up one day, or I didn't just do a step, or I just didn't come from a meeting and say, Greg, dude, you're forgiven. You know, you're forgiven. You know, and just move on and happy, happy, happy. That's not what happened. Not even fucking close, you know. But I kept going to meetings. I kept sharing. I did get involved with step work. I did get involved with sponsors. I did get involved with sponsees. And they give me shit. And I started giving that back to people. Just like I'm trying to do now. And that started making me feel just a little bit better. You know, I was talking, I think yesterday or whenever I posted that other one about, needing validated for something you done good. And I think I told you, like when people come up to me in a meeting and say, thank you for saying that, how I wanted to run and hide. It's, bondage itself, man. I don't, I've never been bound by anything any stronger than my fucking self-centeredness, I believe it was stronger than my fucking addiction. But I don't know, man. I started going to meetings. I started going to therapy. I started seeing professionals. I said professionals become my friends. And I was sitting in that meeting this morning, and like I'd have so many times in healthy meetings with sick people, and they were sharing, and I could, what's really fry when you around somebody in a meeting, somebody you got a lot of respect for, and they tell you just how fucked up they are, or they think they are, and they tell you about some of their strange fucking behaviors, their strange thinking processes, and you go, I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. I know what you're feeling. I know exactly what you're talking about. And that person is one of the sweetest, kindest, most loving people you'll ever meet. It blows me away, man. I guess what happened to me, I started understanding I weren't the worst SOB in the world. I guess I started understanding, that person, I like that person over there. I love that person over there. As a matter of fact, I love that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. And when they share about their past, they share about what happened to them, how they are now. And what the cool thing is, how they are now 99% of the time, they're still fighting this self-centeredness. It's not something that I didn't choose it. I meet up with it, but I didn't choose it. I chose drugs. Every damn one of them, I still choose shit that ain't good for me. And I still get carried away with anything. I try not to choose stuff that's going to hurt anybody else, though. But anyway, back to, when I said in that meeting this morning, I sat there and, man, I'm surrounded by good people. Giving back what was freely given to them. Sharing their experience, strengths, and hopes in addiction, alcoholism, Al-Anon, whatever you want to call that. I don't know what you call that. Codependent, enabler. I can eat up that shit too. But it helped me forgive myself. There's a line in the basic text, somewhere in there, and I don't know how many times I'd read that thing before it fucking dawned on me that, if we'll work these steps, forgiveness will come. And I remember the first time I recognized it, I remember it's like, I'm not beating up on myself so bad. Actually, I'm kind of cool with what I'm doing. This disease, you can call it a disease or not. I don't care what anybody else calls it. I will tell you this: if you're denying it, if you're not an addict, I probably shouldn't say this, but fuck it, I'm going to do it. If you're not an addict and you haven't been hurt by an addict, and you're putting them down, dogging on them, telling them it's a choice, then your opinion is based on ignorance. Total fucking ignorance. And if you don't know what that means, it's not that bad. Just look that up too. You know, I know I did. Disease. My friend told me once disease in its simplest form is something having common symptoms leading to a common end. And when I'm in the rooms of recovery, I got a lot of shit in common. I don't have to take nobody's inventory. They just tell it to me. You know, and when they start talking, I know we got stuff in common. You know, choose, you know, whether you want to work the program or not, you know. I mean, you can choose if you want to call yourself an addict or not. I remember when I first started hearing people, first time I heard it was on that recovery site, people saying that they was grateful for the disease. And I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with you? You know, apparently you ain't done as much damage as I have. Apparently people in your life ain't as screwed up as they are in mine. Apparently this, apparently that. How in the world can you be grateful for something and cause that much fucking shit? You know, again, we have a tendency to be way out of balance. And when I say we, I'm talking about me and whoever might be able to identify with that. I'm not talking about anybody in specific. I know when I read the basic text in NA literature and even the alcohol literature, you know, they like to say we, you know. It puts us together, you know. What brings us together is our diseases, you know. I love what it said, you know, Joe and Charlie said, said people on the Titanic, there's all these different levels, man, from the cream of the cream to the lowest of the low. You know, when that ship went down, they all had one thing in common: to get the fuck out of the water, you know. And that's what I believe we have in common when we come into these programs, you know. I think a lot of us come into here with a real hard time forgiving ourselves. I know I did. I can hear people today come in there with a short period of time saying, you know, and I'm not trying to take their inventory, you know, God bless them, and they might be completely honest. Say, you know, I'm grateful for my disease. It made me the person I am today. When I hear that early on, I got to really, you know, I really question, you know, if they're being honest or if they in denial of something, or maybe they're like it, you know. I just know I had a hard time with it, you know. But today, you know, I can sit here and honestly say, you know, I'm sorry for the pain I caused, but I'm grateful for the disease I have. You know, I can live with this disease just fine. I got to stay off shit to put me in jail, though. You know, I got to stay off stuff that will make me choose it over anything else in my life. You know, and I really don't know what that next thing is that might do that. I know without a doubt people can get addicted and not have this disease. My wife and her, God bless her soul, she's one of them. She's no more an addict than man in the moon, but she's been addicted to every damn thing in the world I was addicted to. You know, and she tickles me sometimes because I think she tries sometimes, you know. I don't know, when I was drinking the energy drinks, I'm just talking now, man, because I ain't got nothing that better to do. When I was drinking the energy drinks, I got them things piled up in my closet, in the refrigerator, in a cabinet, you know, because I got disease and more. When I started drinking them, I didn't want to run out, dude. And I wasn't going to run out. I remember she liked smelly stuff in her clothes too, like you do, Melissa Merriman. And she had this one that she liked, and when I would get my energy drinks, she would buy 4 or 5 of them, you know, and she couldn't even do that. God bless her. She's like, well, this is stupid, you know. She goes back to buying one, you know what I'm saying? When you know, she's not self-centered. When anybody calls her to do anything, she'll jump right up, you know, answer the call. You know, she just like runs toward it. When somebody calls me and asks me to do something, I'm like, what about me? You know, I want to sit here and watch TV. I don't want to go over there. I don't want to do that. You know, I just want to sit here and I just want to be myself. You know, I don't want to dick with that. I don't want to be no trouble. I could go on and on about the difference between me and her, and we've been addicted to everything in the world together. I'm grateful to have these people in my life that I can see the difference today. I'm grateful for what the people God's put in my life. You know, had I not been able to finally forgive myself, just like so many other things that happened in NA and AA and the spiritual recovery programs, you know, I would have never come to know God. You know, I wouldn't have. I was too much focused on me and how I felt. I don't know, man. This is pretty cool today. This shit I'm talking about kills people. And that's sad, you know. You can't. You just like I want to save everybody, and like I said the other day, I can't save nobody. You know, but I can tell you what saved me. You know, I can tell you what I've done. I can tell you who I've been around. I can take you where I go. You don't have to live however you're living if you don't like how you're living. You know, everything's a process. At least it has been for me. You know, if you don't like who you are, some people say, you know, you see the little thing, well, change who you are. And it's like, I remember when I first, well, how the fuck do I do that? You know, all I know is me. I don't know nothing else. You know, it's kind of like, I remember at one point in time I was thinking, you know, I'm at work construction, so it's like, I thought it was like a blueprint, you know. If I was going to build a house, I need a damn blueprint. Well, I might be able to build one right now. You know what I'm saying? If NA and AA and these other programs has been my blueprint. And again, I'm not, you know, you notice I don't put the Bible in there. I got nothing against that. You know, I'm reading it right now. But that's to save my ass or save my soul. It may be for a lot more than that, but I know God put these programs out there for people like me. I'm not saying everybody like me, but they put that program out there for people like me so we can find our way too. You know, and I'm so grateful for that, you know. I just want to talk. You know what? I like to hear my fucking self talk. Imagine that. Self-centeredness. I don't know, you know, if you haven't forgiven yourself, I can take you where people can show you how. You know, I can take you to where you can learn a new way of life. I can take you somewhere, man, where they can teach you how to never go to prison again. Not for a drug-related crime. You know, I can take you somewhere where if you're struggling to find God, maybe they can help you do that too. I could take you to a place that was put together by addicts, for addicts. You know, I can give you some literature, some other literature to read too. You know, it says right in it, you know, if you're an addict and you found this, do yourself a favor and read it. I would have never been able to sit here and do what I'm doing right now. Plus all the things that God blessed me to do today without these programs. You know, I'm blessed. I don't want to go back there and live like that. I don't want to, you know, I don't want, I used to hate to talk about the disease. I don't want it to become active like it can. I don't want this hole inside of me to get bigger and bigger and me try to fill it with all kinds of shit. You know, whether it be drugs or whether it be anything, you know. I want what I have today. You know, NA says, you know, if we were to write down everything we expected to get out of this program before we started, we would severely shortchange ourselves. And I would have. You know, I would have. Because all I wanted from it was the crazies to go away. If the crazies would have went away, I went right back out there and started drinking again. Smoking pot. You know, probably find some kind of speed that weren't crank. You know, so I could drink more beer and smoke more pot. And the crazy would come right back. I don't know, y'all. If you got something out of this, good. If you can't relate, that's probably even better. Regardless, you know, I love y'all. Catch you later.